Hey there, dream makers. This is a very good week for the ongoing comic book movie feuds bracket because I'm feuding 4 highly unique and cool films. These movies kick ass. They're kings of comedy. They're not just shy little pilgrims drowning in a pool of their own mediocrity. Yeah, that's right. I just played off the titles of all 4 movies because you know what? Unlike 95% of the other critics on YouTube, I script the shit out of this, damn it, because I care. So much good to go around, from the crazy kids in Kick-Ass to the gentleman killers in Kingsman. 2 big standouts here are the merc with the mouth himself, Deadpool, played perfectly by Ryan Reynolds, and the little Chloe Grace Moretz killing the shit out of people as Hit Girl. Michael Cera is right at home as Scott Pilgrim. The love-struck high schooler does what most only dream of: rock out in a badass band, win multiple fights in elaborate situations, dominate at video games, and all while getting the ladies. He's a real man-child's man-child. Kingsman's lead is probably the least exciting as he's pretty straightforward. A fish out of water going by the name of Eggsy. The supporting cast has the most fun, with Colin Firth dominating every scene he's in as the brilliant, smooth-talking agent and mentor Galahad. Michael Caine and a small role by Mark Hamill keep things fun. Plus there's a crazy bitch with swords for legs. Deadpool is really a vehicle for Reynolds to deliver great line after line, but it's not just a one-trick pony either. Which, as a reminder, anytime a horse or a pony is mentioned on this show, we have to cut to Genuine's masterwork. We have nice supporting roles from TJ Miller and Marina Baccarin, plus 2 X-Men thrown in for good measure. Kick-Ass has a fun ensemble cast. I mentioned Hit Girl, but her big daddy, played by Nicolas Cage, is very cool as well. Kick-Ass himself is nothing special to me, mainly because I find Aaron Taylor Johnson lifeless in pretty much every role he's ever been in, such as Godzilla and Avengers 2 as Quicksilver. Speaking of Quicksilver, the better actor, Evan Peters, is also in this flick. Mark Strong double dips, playing parts in both Kingsman and Kick-Ass, but the big villain of the picture is my boy McLovin as Red Mist, a spoiled, albeit lost little shithead who grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. Deadpool definitely is the weakest in the villain department, giving us a very generic boss to deal with, especially when put up against Samuel L. Jackson's lisp-talking, McDonald's-loving, fashion icon Valentine. But all of these absolutely tremble under the weight of Scott Pilgrim's cast. We have a Culkin brother playing his playboy roommate. All of the ladies in his life are fantastic. Anna Kendrick, Aubrey Plaza, Brie Larson, and Ellie Wong bring unique traits to the screen. I'm Team Knives Chow for sure. I found her far more enjoyable and likable than the lame Ramona Flowers. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is a treasure for sure, but here she's just bland compared to the others. Sure, Knives is young and a bit naive, but she was a pleasure to be around, and she was one hell of a DDR partner. The 7 evil X's easily take the villain win. You have Superman Returns as a powered-up vegan. You have Captain America as a Hollywood bad boy. Then there's Egg as a bitchy lesbian. And my favorite, the main mastermind Jason Schwartzman as Gideon Graves. Deadpool is the funnest character, but the sheer variety that Pilgrim offers just can't be topped. As with almost every single episode of this comic book movie bracket, I have very little knowledge of the comic books themselves. I only know what's presented on screen, and what I have is a very fresh, unique take on these kind of properties. Kick-Ass shows us what it would be like if regular kids rose up to fight crime and just how punishing and dangerous it can be. It was a film most people could relate to, especially those damn angsty teenagers and all their real-world problems. Oh, well, what's that, Tiffany? Tyler is not talking to you in class anymore? Well, guess what, bitch? In a few years, you're gonna have a mortgage and 3 kids to provide for on a single income because your husband left you with some floozy down in the Florida Keys. Kingsman is a mix of Men in Black meets James Bond. The gadgets, the women, the crazy villains, the cool action, the British awesomeness, it's all there. I found the ending a bit bizarre and out of place. I don't want to get too anal about it, but seriously, why? Don't get me wrong, I like a nice princess ass more than the next. It just seemed out of sync with the rest of the movie, even for a cheeky British parody of sorts. Deadpool is definitely the least unique in terms of story structure and beat-by-beat moments, but how it lets these events unfold is very enjoyable and refreshing. Constant winking at the camera, in-studio meta jokes, making fun of other superhero movies, and its own budget. The flick also has heart. It was presented during ads as a romantic movie, and although the marketing was obviously having fun, there is some truth to it. It makes the merc with the mouth sympathetic, and a guy you can really root for. Scott Pilgrim is my favorite on this list by a long shot. I'm not even gonna beat around the dick about it. There is just such a fun level of creativity and thought put into every frame of this film. There are a ton of Easter eggs and visual calls to Scott's progress, making this a movie to put on repeat. The plot is very straightforward. Scott is in a relationship, but it's empty. He falls for Ramona, but she has baggage. He needs to fight for her. I brought up only earlier that I'm Team Knives, and that's my only gripe with this ending. Regardless of my hopes and aspirations for Scott Pilgrim, he made his bed, and he's obviously sleeping in it, and I don't knock him for that. And this movie's certainly still a 10 out of 10 in my eyes. I'm not mad, Scott. I'm just disappointed. Much like a mother who found out her son was getting a D in algebra because he spent the last couple months aggressively masturbating to the bra section of a Target catalog. I'm not good at math, Mom! Get off me! Wow, that got real fast. Give it to you. Once more, this round is an easy win for Scotty P. This is a prime example of what a finished product can look like when you don't fuck with the director, Hollywood. Edgar Wright knew exactly what type of movie he wanted to make, and he went all in. He made the right choice. So natural. The whole tone of this movie has a very punk rebel sound that just screams at you in the best way possible. The visuals are once more remarkable, with the director utilizing an array of techniques to bring us into Scott's world. The battles are exciting and you're always on the edge, waiting for the next one to show up. Deadpool doubles down on nostalgia in the audio department, giving us a smattering of random but awesome songs from the 80s and 90s. Wham's Careless Whisper is my favorite, but a little salt and pepper is never a bad idea. Kick-Ass is another example of that high-octane, Prodigy-infused sound that just fits so well. Hit Girl knifing and gunning a room full of suits while the music is pumping is about as good as it gets. Action is where Kingsman really stands out. A string of small fights is shot competently, but holy hell is that church massacre a blast. The final set piece is a bit underwhelming in comparison. Deadpool is probably the weakest of the bunch here. The sword play is fine, but it doesn't hit Blade levels of cool. The highway chase is easily the best segment as we watch Wade slaughter a team of baddies while cracking one-liners and crashing cars around, sometimes shot in beautiful slow motion. Speaking of slow motion, let's conclude this feud. How is that a segue in any sense? After last week's shit show talking about the Schumacher films, it's nice to get back to some good movies. These ones don't play it safe. They don't care about the corporate machine greasing its wheels for the next installment. Nay, they focus on crafting a good narrative and having a lot of fun on the way. My winner's Scott Pilgrim. I think that was clear from the onset. It just does a lot of things I like about movies. Let me hear from you now. Cast your vote, comment below, and subscribe to my channel Feud Nation to keep up with this ongoing comic book movie bracket and to see other videos I attempt to entertain you with. More than just reviews, this is Movie Feuds. Check me out on Twitter and Facebook too, friends. Help me stay motivated because this comic book movie bracket is never gonna fucking end.